Hey, what is up, guys? Today, as per usual, we have Kevin and
Olivia.
Back at it again. Supreme Scrubs Podcast, Episode 7, back by popular demand by our few followers, which we're very thankful for. But anyways, today we're going to get into some things. Obviously, you guys haven't heard much from us in quite a few months, and it's because we just got done with our, I guess not first semester of NP school, but our first semester with clinicals.
Yes.
Right? And, man, we needed to wind down a little bit. We didn't record right away, but today, here we are.
We're finally recovered enough.
Yes, exactly. Our mind is right. You know, a little bit scarred, but you know we're back at it. So we're gonna update you guys with how the semester went, and maybe how it differs from regular nursing school, and we'll get into our segments. So overall, Liv, what do you think about the semester?
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
it was the worst. The worst of the worst.
Tell me about it. Yeah, it was very different from actual nursing school. Like we always try to explain to our friends and family, when it comes to nursing school, that's strictly tests, a couple clinical assignments here and there, such as what are they called? Not case studies.
They were concept
maps back in the day.
They changed it. I don't know the new name.
Yeah, not CDAT. That's the stuff you put your data on, but something else. Oh, PC, POX, something like that. Plane of cares, no whatever. Idea. Anyways, so I just tell people, imagine if you had tests, but then you had 50, 60-page papers in between. And people kind of already get that the tests are hard as it is in nursing school. So when you sprinkle a couple assignments, like, you know, heavy assignments like that in there, it can make you a little crazy. So it was a lot, to say the least.
Yes, it was.
We were not used to the quizzes, and that's definitely what was the main difference between this semester and nursing school, I think. Because if you want to explain them how the quizzes are, I think we explained the last episode, but now we really experienced them.
Yeah. So it's 20 questions. They're multiple choice, but you have to write a rationale for each one. So why the one you choose is right, and then why the other three are incorrect.
But that's not the hard part.
The hard part is that it's not stuff that you cover. So it's stuff you do on your own. A quiz is never anything that's covered in lecture. So it's totally on your own learning. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to use the internet or I shouldn't say the internet, but you're not allowed to use like a Google search. It can't even be CDC. It has to be only certain websites. Scholarly sources. Mm-hmm. But up to date isn't one of them.
Right.
Which
with doctors
for everything else is fine, but not for this. You can't use up to date. So you're struggling as it is just to find the answer. Then you have to like support it, and you're very limited on the net. So then you go to the textbook, and the textbook's very limited.
Yeah.
And it was just like the first one you submitted, you know, and you put your reason like why this is wrong because of such and such, and this one's right because of this, and then you get the feedback, and the professor we had wanted, well, what was the patho for that, and what are the presenting symptoms, and what's the treatment, even though that had nothing to do with like your rationale for why something was right or wrong, like that had to be included as well. So, and you couldn't even write like, oh, the treatments, you know, antifungals. Well, which type of antifungals, exactly. And how much would you give? And it's just very specific.
Yeah, crazy thorough. You know, they asked for it. We gave it. I think my first quiz was maybe like 20, 30 pages. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we got all the questions right, I believe, on the first quiz, both of us. And we still, well, not we, but I think you got like a little bit better grade than me. But I got maybe like 10 points wrong just because I didn't have everything that they wanted. So I was like, okay, like if that's what you want. So for the next quiz, my quiz ended up being 60 pages or maybe like 50-something pages. I think I posted on the IG story for those that follow. And I just couldn't imagine grading that. Like 20 different quizzes, 50, 60 pages long. is that really what they want? Or are they even thoroughly reading all that? And
I don't know.
I guess maybe they are, if that's what they really want, but
they told us in the beginning of the semester, be prepared to commit, what they say, 8 hours.
Yeah, right.
About 8 hours a week to these quizzes because they're very difficult, guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can do 8 hours. I wish it was only 8 hours.
Yeah,
I dedicated a good, probably like over 30 hours to these quizzes. It would take I sit down for a whole weekend, start to finish, and I'd still have ones that have to get done during the week.
I guess to try to put in perspective, it was maybe like 1 hour for an easy question, but like for a difficult question, that could take you up to like 3 or 4 hours to
for
try.
One question.
You got to find sources. You got to try to put the puzzle pieces together to explain why other ones are wrong, and yeah, you're right. It took more than enough time. If it was just answering the quiz answers or questions, I'm sorry, then it really wouldn't be too bad so far because
the rationale for the right one.
Because clinicals weren't that bad.
They were okay.
Like the assignments got a little heavy because for that we didn't know how much they wanted for that either. Like in terms of length wise for the assignment or content wise. But we only had to go 1 day a week for 5 weeks for clinical. They really, babied us with that because of COVID. But next semester will be different.
Next semester is much different.
Yeah. So that'll be an even more dreadful pod. We'll be crying. It'll just be 60 minutes of tears, But we'll get through it. Also, the test maps, when it came to the test, they gave us like little study guides. They didn't give us study guide. They gave us topics on what to study. But I feel like also with the study guide, even if you just follow that, you would only get like a B. Mm-hmm. There was not a lot, but there was a decent amount of stuff on there where I feel like you had to read from somewhere to get a full 100. So a lot of subjective grading, like you said, which we're not used to.
Yeah, I'm not used to it.
Nursing school was black and white. You do your tests, you see if you passed, and you kind of move on. But with this, you sprinkle in some assignments. You can get all the answers right on the assignment, but then they could chime in and say you didn't do enough for this question, and then next thing you know, you're getting points off. So we definitely weren't used to that.
That's the other thing, too. If you had to answer wrong, they took off the full credit amount. You don't get any partial credit for why even if your rationales were right for the other two, you don't get any kind of partial credit. It's like, nope, the answer was wrong.
Yeah.
So
and I said that
you could take 3 hours to do that question, and in the end, you get nothing for it.
And I said that with the first quiz. I was like, I got all them right, but imagine I got one wrong, and next thing you know, I got 10 points off. Now I'm looking at maybe another 10, and you need 83 to pass nursing. This semester, and eventually I did get one wrong, and then it's whoa, I just wrote 50, 60 pages just to get 5 points wrong, like you said, no matter how much I wrote. So we weren't used to it. Everyone's saying oh, the quiz will only help you remember it. But, I mean, honestly, I don't think I can remember much from these quizzes. Enough where I made wrote 60 pages about it. I don't know if I remember everything word for word.
No.
So, on the other hand, I'm sure it helps because it is open book and it's supposed to bring your grade up if you don't do well in the midterm or final. So, I guess it can go both ways. So far, it just takes some time to get used to for us. So, still catching our breath from this semester. I know it's only going to get more difficult from here, but luckily we get summer off, and we're going to try to enjoy it the best we can.
Yeah.
Right? Enjoy the freedom.
Do the best we can.
Yeah.
Try not to be too anxious about next semester.
Yeah, we'll try not to think about it, but our task for over the summer will be trying to find a specialty clinical site and get back into another primary care facility.
And GYN.
And GYN for the semester after that. So we'll see how it goes. And definitely going to just enjoy our time off. So that was a little mini NP school update. So far we survived. we'll keep you posted on how the rest of the program goes. Only 2 more classes, so we'll see. We're going to get into our segments. Back at it, fight or flight. We're going to start with desserts or regular food as in-service food items brought by med reps. I know it sounds like bougie, but we work in offices now, so like this kind of matters to us because this is what we look forward to throughout the day.
Yep, it's my week.
Yeah. Seems like you get it more often than me, though. I only get it every Thursday.
At least you have a guarantee. We only get it. You might have like 2 weeks where you don't have anything.
No, damn.
Just depends on who calls, I guess.
Yeah. So what are you going for?
If I prefer dessert or like regular food?
Yeah.
I'd rather have regular food. Then I don't have to pack lunch then.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with regular food. Only because I usually don't have a sweet tooth anyway, personally. Although, last week, they brought in breakfast. There was one med rep that brought breakfast, one med rep that brought in regular food, and then as a gift from another med rep, they brought like a dessert, and that was baller. That was like everything to me. I had bagels in the morning, and then I had like some kind of random chicken and pasta in the middle of the day, and then ended off the day with some pliables.
Wow.
And that was wonderful. So if they could bring regular food and then dessert after, like they bring in the regular food, they wait till I'm done eating, and then they could bring me dessert once they see that I'm done. Yeah.
That's not asking for too much?
No, I don't think so. They got nothing better to do, just to make me happy. Anyways, on to the next one. All right. We might be a little biased here. Would you rather have a NP normal salary or work more as an RN?
I'll take the NP salary.
Because I feel like as an RN, you could probably make more than an NP if you really wanted to.
If you work enough, you can make a lot of money as an RN. But you have to put the time in.
2 jobs, or you work maybe like 6 days straight or 6 nights straight.
But then what's your like quality,
what's the quality
of life? And then you have all this money, but what do you do with it?
Yeah.
You're never around to spend it.
I think people that usually do that work like 3 months straight and then take like a month off. But that 3 months is nothing but work. Where NP normal salary, you get like a little bit of.
I'd rather have my regular schedule and just make.
Yeah, it's probably not a good question for them. Like
but
everyone's like,
you used to work as an NP and then still pick up.
Yeah,
as an RN.
That's true. Some people do that. I know I definitely wanted to NP to work less, but hopefully, maybe make a little more. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so last fight or flight. Would you rather be able to go in late or be able to leave early?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. After working days, obviously I'd rather be able to leave early. Actually, even if I work nights, I'd probably rather be able to leave early. Getting flexed at midnight was like the best. You could still sleep, or even today, or not today, but for work now, there was like the power outage in the office and then it turned to a half day. Yeah. That was great too. How about you?
I definitely like to leave early. I did that this past semester. I would go in super early so I can leave early, like for class and whatnot.
Yeah.
And just so much better. It's hard getting up in the morning, but I'd rather, it's like it pays off when you look at the clock and you're like, oh, I get to leave.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got here an hour early.
That's true. Because I guess if you compare it to like clinical, like we were able to go in later than our work shift, but we got out at the same time, and I feel like the day was just still like kind of wasted. Because what are you really gonna do like before 10?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even sleep in. I still get up regular time because I'm anxious for my clinical day.
Yeah, I know. We didn't get a chance to talk about our clinical days.
No.
Next episode, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who's still listening. All right, so nurse advice of the month is our next segment. This was my nurse advice.
Okay.
I advise nurses to plan ahead. I guess maybe it pertains to new nurses because I'm sure regular nurses have their own routine by now. But definitely for new nurses, like make sure you kind of have a routine in your head at least. It may not be glued yet, but don't like wait to chart, or don't wait to basically just make sure you prioritize well. And I don't know, I just want to say, like, there may not be time later on in your shift.
Yeah.
Get your stuff done now, because you may get like an admission later on, or a
Always
patient
prioritize.
Yeah, or a patient can unfortunately circle the drain in the middle of your shift. So definitely make sure you plan ahead. That helped me as a new nurse. Get as much documentation as you can. Not saying you have to chart ahead, but definitely stay on top of your documenting, because that can take up a lot of time. And that way you're spending more time with your patient instead of in front of the computer.
I agree. Cool. I guess my advice
is run for your life now.
Don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Pick something else.
Just don't be a nurse.
I guess you have an interest in what it is that you're doing. We all take a job usually right out of school, whether we have an interest or not in it, just because we want a job and we need the experience. So I get that, because I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. But once you get your experience and you're able to kind of branch out a little more, you're not so limited, try to get somewhere that you do have an interest, because you have to somewhat like what you're doing. If you don't like where you're at, because nursing, there's so many different aspects of nursing. So you could be on like a med-surg floor and hate it, but you can go do something else like we do, an office setting or research or teaching, and it's totally different, but it's all nursing. But you have to have some kind of an interest, because if you don't, it just makes life so much more difficult. Of course. It makes the job so much more difficult, and you just hate what you do, and you get no enjoyment, no fulfillment. And this is a lot of work. We do a lot of work, and we got to enjoy some of it along the way. Definitely. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out, and you're going to, before you know it, be changing careers. So, which is fine too, if you want to change your career. But have a little interest in what you're doing, get the experience, and then go do something that really interests you. Yeah,
you go to work probably more often than you see the people at home.
Sure.
So you definitely got to make sure majority of your day is not just you hating life and stressing the whole time. You got to make sure you're into what you're doing. I can definitely agree with that. Do you like what you're doing?
I like what I do. Yeah.
I think I asked you that last episode.
I do. I like it a lot more than what I used to do.
She's only saying that because people that she works with listen to this.
I do.
I'm just
different. It's something I'm actually a little more interested in.
Yeah.
Not that my other jobs weren't bad. They were interesting. Mm-hmm. And I grew to have an interest in them, but my goal was always to be here. This was always my main interest.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely like my specialty as well. It's always interesting, and patients are always really nice in my specialty, and it's a good feeling to see them happy.
Fulfilling.
Yeah. I didn't want to be cliche and say, oh, it's rewarding, but it is. It really is.
That's the best part.
Yeah. When you find something you like, especially in nursing. All right. So this is a new segment. This is what was your nursing school never prepared me for this moment?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I have to think of one. You have one lined up?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think so. So nursing school, or maybe just nursing, I don't know. When I was in nursing school, never prepared me for this. It was the high risk. I just said that this was like rewarding, but maybe like when I first started, there was like high risk in terms of what can happen to a patient, and low reward. And I guess what I'm saying is you can not necessarily save, but making sure that they don't die. You could save like 100 patients' lives, but all it takes is just one to kind of ruin your whole career. Or you could save like thousands, and all it just takes one to like ruin your whole career, or just make you feel like this wasn't for you. I guess because there's like so much expected of us in nursing, where it's like, oh man, like you don't believe my shift. Like I changed this person, I did their IV, I helped this other patient calm down, and it would just nonstop up and down, and then people would just be like, oh, okay, great. Or like on the other hand, if it's like, yeah, I wasn't able to change this person, or I wasn't able to treat their pain as quick as I wanted to because it was so busy, then now you like the patients are jumping down your throat, change your shift. It's like, what do you mean you didn't have time? So, does that make sense?
I get know. What you're saying, yes.
It doesn't seem like it. We kind of touched
on it, I think, the last time, right?
Probably.
With management and how, like, they get upset.
Yeah. It really is high risk and low reward. Not that we should be praised all the time for what we do, you know, all the stuff we do, but I don't know. It seems like we do a lot, and then we get, like, a thumbs up compared to if we do something bad. Like I said, probably last episode. Yeah. Where we get slammed.
I agree with that. I guess kind of piggybacking off that.
Okay.
I would say that nursing school, you know, doesn't prepare you for, like, you don't get the recognition. Like, you're going to work so hard. And they keep saying you have to work so hard, and, you know, because we're the number one, like, trusted profession. Like, I feel like it was very, like, talked up, like, this is an honor to do this, be in this program, and, like, we make up the majority of hospital staff, and we're so important. And it's not that we're not. Like, we make up a large portion. We are very important to healthcare, but no one ever prepared you for the, like, no one else will behave in that way, I guess. Like, kind of like you said, there's no, like, appreciation. Like, no other people will act that way.
That's what I was trying to say.
So, like, you hype you up, like, we're so important. Yeah. But then you get in the real world, and, like, no one even, like, even a pandemic, like, we still don't get, like, recognition. And you're like, oh, okay, so.
You jump into a shift, and they're like, oh, great, another body, you know? That can cover these 6 patients and kind of, like, watch them. It's never like, oh, nice, there's a good nurse on or something like that.
Yeah, no. Just a body.
I don't know why the culture's like that.
I don't know. Maybe because there are so many, and it's the idea of, you know, upper place you with someone else, you know? But it's a lot. It's hard work. And
there's probably a couple factors. Like, patients are at themselves when they're the sickest, so obviously they're not going to care whether you're good or bad.
I mean, everyone, though. Like, even, like, physicians or, like, people, other, like, healthcare staff. Like,
I think they're just also... they're probably just too busy to, like, care, you know?
I guess.
They're like, oh, great, you did what I asked you to. You know? There's no, like, oh, thank you so much.
But there's so many little things that I think we do that, like, even they don't realize. Like, how many times you'll go to, like, a physician, right? You'll say, oh, can I do this? Or let me show you this. And they'll miss something. And you'll be like, oh, you don't want to look at that just one more time? And you kind of, like, point your finger towards it. Or are you sure you don't want me to actually call in this instead? And you say, and they go, oh, yeah, do that. Like, there's a lot of little things that, like, the nurse catches and brings to the attention because you're so busy. And that's our job. But there's no, like, you know, oh, good thing I have you double checking, you know? Like, there's none of that. It's almost like annoyed if, like, you didn't bring that to my attention. You're like, well, you're looking at it. That's kind of your job. I was just being nice and saying, hey, you're gonna miss this.
No, I definitely agree. It's like, do you know what could have happened if I didn't see that?
Yeah,
and you can't. You're not gonna say that.
Yeah,
you're not gonna say that to the doctor. Point it out
again or question you. Well, that's the other thing. You take a risk. Like, all right, I'm gonna question this now.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't get annoyed at me. But yeah, what if I didn't? Like.
Yeah. So, no recognition, high risk, low reward. Somebody cue the violin.
I guess if you said that on the first day, people would be like, why? I'm out. I'm not doing this. Because I would have been like, you're right. I'm out of here. Yeah,
of course. You know, it's not all bad. Just overall, sometimes, I feel like, majority of the time, it's like how it feels. Which is fine. We clock in, we clock out. It's a job.
You get used to it.
Yeah. No biggie. All right, on to our last segment. Was this a rough podcast? We jumped back in after a few months. I'm stuttering a lot. I feel like we got to get back into our groove, guys. You know, we're trying to keep it genuine here.
Still out of whack.
I'm still trying to figure out why I got 10 points off on the first quiz. And that's what MP School does to you. So for those who are still listening to us and haven't turned it off after my first stutter, we appreciate you guys. We're on to our last segment now.
Okay.
Feverish take. I don't really like this take. You know why? You know why I don't like this take? Is because we've just been dropping such negative bombs on nurses.
We're being honest.
All right, we're being honest.
All right. You have to be honest.
So, will you become a little more honest as your career goes on in nursing?
The more tired you get,
school?
the more you're like, I don't care about the filter, and I'm just saying it how it is.
Yeah. If you hang around an old nurse, they definitely don't have a filter. Tell it like it is. So, this is our feverish take. Nurses don't get paid enough.
They do not get paid enough. We don't nearly get paid what we should. I agree.
And I hope this doesn't come off as snobby because I don't know, like when people think of nurses, it's supposed to be like, oh, like they were nursing me to health, they do it for the reward. All right, so Liv's shaking her head.
No, that's all true, but those are the same people that turn around and sue you later.
Yeah.
So no, sorry, I'm taking a big risk. I'm getting like the potential for a lawsuit. I need to be compensated for that. This isn't like I work somewhere and I messed up like an order or something. And it's like, whoops, I'm sorry. And you just be polite about it. Like, people are going to come after your license and try to take as much money as they can from you.
Yeah.
I need to be paid to take that risk every day.
Yeah. I agree. I'm sure the majority of people that listen to this are in the medical field and probably agree that, anyone in the medical field probably doesn't get paid enough. But I hope we all get paid more, actually, because
I do too. Everyone in healthcare.
We all do, more than enough for the people that we're caring for. We're there for them in their most vulnerable times, and can't really put a price on that. We're treating their pain. We're letting them know what's going on with their treatment plan. We're using our therapeutic communication to, calm them down.
Mm-hmm. We're catching all the mistakes.
We're throwing orders in. We're administering meds. We're applying orders for the patient. Carrying them out. That's what I was trying to say. And, we could use a little bump. A little bump in the pay.
We could. We absolutely could.
Obviously, we're biased. I mean,
yeah. I think all healthcare, though. I'm just going to say the nurses. I think everyone in healthcare deserves more.
The people that get paid the most in healthcare don't touch the patients.
Yes.
That's probably where the frustration comes from, right?
Yes.
Probably the insurance companies or something that are throwing out the bills. Those, top of the food chain of that aspect of healthcare is probably getting all the dollars. But like you always say, we're the boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, Kev.
That's your thing.
It's us. It's us and the patient. At 12 a.m., when you stop breathing, it's us.
Yep.
There's not a doctor there. It's us. And we're going to be the ones to get you back. We'll make a call in the meantime. But it's our work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility. I think it deserves to be compensated.
And we're trying not to slander anyone else in the medical field. But I'm just saying, we all do a lot. We all deserve a little bump, like I said before. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they can make that happen. We would have thought we would have got some recognition, as you would say, during COVID.
It was such a small sliver.
No, yeah.
Where there was like, oh, the nurses are wonderful. And like heroes. Now it's right back to like people just look at you, give you a dirty look.
Oh, God.
You're like sitting there in your scrubs like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, like as much as we got the media support. Like if you walked into a grocery store with your scrubs on, people were mad. People were mad as hell. And I don't even work in like in a hospital where there was COVID patients.
I'm just trying to pick up dinner. Exactly. They're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. I still have to eat and feed my family. It's like that still exists.
Hence why we should get paid more. We still got to eat and feed our families. So, I feel like from last episode to now, we're a little bit negative. We're a little on the negative side. A little negative
school
side.
Will do that to you. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
It was like the most... It was just every time you'd submit something and you get it back, you just feel worse about yourself.
Oh, yeah. You're like,
there was no building
this?
you up. It was just a constant breaking you down. I'm waiting for the building up part.
Yeah.
I don't think it will happen.
Didn't happen
But
yet.
So far, it's just break you down and
right.
break you down. And just when you think you can't get any lower, they just hit you with something else. And you're just like, oh, okay. And then you go to class and there's just more like, this is hard, guys. And
we're like,
we know. You better start spending more time to your studies, and you better quit your jobs if you work 5 days a week. Just every class. And you're sitting there like, I can't quit my job, but thank you for letting me know that I should.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life. I have to work. I have to pay my bills. Oh, you better quit your job. So it's just... It makes you negative because they're really negative.
That's true. And I don't want to be like that. So we got to find a way to turn that around.
We have the summer to turn it around.
Yeah. Next episode, we'll be a little happier. We'll bring up some happier topics. We're very thankful that you guys are still tuning in. We got some requests for a new episode. Hope you guys still like the segments, the NP school update. We'll get some better topics in there and some fresh segments. And we're just thankful for you guys tuning in. Nice talking to you, Liv.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Kev.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Peace.
Type of pain that you feel deep inside. It's that type of pain that makes you pray, makes you cry. But it's gonna be alright one day. This too shall pass. Sometimes you gotta go through the pain to experience the joy. This too shall pass. Danny Kane. shall pass.